Want better communication in your teams? Well, who doesn't? There's a communication bottleneck that exists within the HR Support Center at the Best Snacking Company. What caused this bottleneck was a change in communication practices due to the creation of a new knowledge management position. In this presentation, we're going to go over the background, the problem, and the goals to help resolve the issue. I'm Kirsten Daly, and what makes me qualified to talk to you about this today is I work for the HR Support Center. I work with the representatives that this is impacting. I also worked with the new knowledge manager and with the manager. We're all working together to try to figure out a way to resolve this. So first, we're going to talk about the background to give you a better idea of what the HR Support Center does and why it's important that we resolve this. So the HR Support Center is a call center for retirees and employees to call in and ask questions related to policies, benefits, and anything else related to HR. Because the work is so varied and can be complex, knowledge articles were created to try to help the representatives. How it works is if the representatives get a question that they don't know the answer to, they search the knowledge articles. If they can't find the answer, then they do additional research in reaching out to the subject matter experts. And then after they get the information, they create the knowledge article. Because different employees are working on this, we have found duplications and inconsistencies within the knowledge articles. The HR Support Center has a 95% first call resolution rate as a metric. Because the representatives have to call the person back whenever they need to take the time to research something, it is causing our first call resolution rate to drop. Because of this, our manager, Jim Jones, was hoping that the creation of the knowledge management position would help streamline things and help boost our first call resolution rate. Sheila Sherman was hired into the position. Sheila is new to the company and the team, and this is a new position within the team. We've never had to work with a knowledge manager before. So because of this, it has caused some growing pains within our team. Which brings me to our next topic is we're going to talk about the problem. So the new position changed the way our team communicates with each other. The staff is submitting the knowledge articles to Sheila, who then rewrites them. But because Sheila is so new, she then has to consult with the subject matter experts and then rewrite the knowledge articles. This is time consuming, and because the team's submitting everything to Sheila in the electronic format and she's rewriting it, they're not getting recognition for the research they're doing. So they're doing the legwork, but there's no recognition behind it. So we have found that this is lowering morale and it's causing frustrations among the team. And because the communications are all electronic, they haven't really had time to spend with Sheila, to get to know her, and to help create that working relationship. So we have found that that's impacted our teamwork. Additionally, in speaking with Sheila, we have found that the submissions for the knowledge articles has dropped. They're not submitting them, and on several occasions, Sheila's asked the team for feedback regarding what they don't like, anything they want to change, and she's not hearing back from them. So we've developed a plan, and we have 6 goals that we're trying to meet to help resolve this communication bottleneck. So the first goal we're going to talk about is we want to implement trainings. We want to give Sheila a more robust training on the benefits, and we're going to do that by having her sit with the benefits subject matter experts, and she's also going to be sitting with the representatives and shadowing them. This is going to take place soon, and it's going to take 2 weeks to accomplish this. Sheila is going to sit with the representatives at least twice, and this should also help them create that working relationship that will help with the knowledge articles. The other training is we want everybody to have a feedback training. We want them to learn how to give and receive feedback. Jim's going to be facilitating this training. We purchased it from Trainer Bubble. It'll take 1 hour to implement the training, and we want everybody there in person. So some of the obstacles we're anticipating with these trainings is resistance from staff. Having somebody shadow them all day is, I mean, let's face it, nobody really wants to have somebody sit with them looking over their shoulder all day. So what we're going to do to mitigate this is Sheila's going to sit with one person for half a day. Then the other half a day, she's going to sit with someone else. It's going to help break things up. It's also going to allow her to sit with each person twice, so that way they have time to get to know each other, and it'll help them work better in the future. The other obstacle we're anticipating is the time off the phones for the feedback training. So what we're going to do is we're going to schedule this when our call volume is low. Our next goal is team building. We're going to implement some team building exercises to help build morale. We're going to do weekly exercises for 4 weeks, and then monthly after that for 6 months. Jim's going to be the one who's going to facilitate all of the team building exercises. Some of the exercises are going to be done during our weekly team meetings, and others are going to be going to require a little bit more time, so they'll be scheduled outside of our team meetings. The obstacles we're anticipating is time off of the phones. So again, we're going to schedule when our call volume is low, and it's also the reason why we scheduled some of these for during our weekly team meetings. We're not anticipating much resistance from staff. Several months ago, they asked for a DISC assessment, and that's going to be one of our team building exercises. So we think they're going to be really excited and happy that they get a chance to do that. Our next goal is new software. We want to purchase software specifically for knowledge management. This is going to help us use the software like a Google search. So right now we're using OneNote, and you have to search for the specific word in the knowledge article. If you don't use the same exact word, you can't find it. If it operates more like a Google search, it's going to help us reduce the number of duplicate submissions, and it's going to allow staff find things easier and more quickly. Our go live date is March 1st. So we really want to have this software being used and implemented by then. Some of the obstacles we're anticipating is the buy-in from staff, training staff, and working with IT. So what we plan on doing is creating a sandbox environment so staff can go in there and they can play around with the software well before our go live date. This is going to allow them to see a sample and be able to see how it's going to better help them do their job. It's also going to help us work out the kinks too, because with any new software, there's always kinks. They'll be able to give us feedback, let us know what's working, what's not working, any changes they want to make well before the go live date. And it's also going to help with their training too, because they get to go in there, they get to feel for it, and they're using it essentially. The other obstacle, well, the last obstacle I mentioned was IT. We really need a good working relationship with IT on this to be successful. They're going to be the ones helping us implement this and helping us fix and resolve any issues. They're going to be our support throughout this. So it is essential that we have a good working relationship and we're all on the same page throughout this process. So Jim's already started meeting with the head of the IT department, and they have developed a schedule, and we're going to be meeting with IT early and often to help develop that relationship and to help make sure we're all on the same page. That should help implementing the new software go more smoothly. Our next goal is to develop best practices. So there's only going to be one knowledge database, one place for the representatives to go to and to research. We're going to create a template that all knowledge articles follow the same format. So this should make it easier for the staff to find things, to scan through it, and to pick out what they're looking for. With the new software, we're going to have the ability for the staff to actually create the knowledge articles. It'll then be routed to Sheila, who does the fact checking and reviews it for approval. Once she approves it, the representative that created it, their name's still going to be attached to it in the database. So that way they have that recognition for the work they did in researching the knowledge articles. The other item we want is a knowledge cafe. Again, this is something that the new software is going to allow us to do. The knowledge cafe will be like a chat board, and staff can go in there and they can post non-time sensitive questions, and they can discuss some things that come up on calls. They can talk about trends that are occurring on calls. Our subject matter experts are going to have access to the knowledge cafes so they can participate in the discussions as well. Sheila is going to be monitoring this, and she'll be able to pull the information from the Knowledge Cafe and use it to create knowledge articles or to update existing ones. Lastly, in our best practices is we're going to have weekly check-ins. Our weekly check-ins are strictly for talking about knowledge management, and it'll give the staff an opportunity to provide feedback. It'll give Sheila an opportunity to ask any clarifying questions or information. And we're going to talk about what's going on, any updates that are occurring, and we want to do this towards the end of the week. So Thursdays will probably be best, and it'll last for about 1 hour. That way we can all stay in touch with each other on what's going on with the new knowledge articles and talk about any changes that are occurring. Our next goal is metrics. So we really need something to help measure our success for these changes. So we're going to have an after action review. There are some questions that we want answered, and this is what's going to help us measure our success. Some of those items is the staff now submitting knowledge articles? Are they using the Knowledge Cafe? We want to review these things, and that's going to help us determine our rate of success. The other item we're going to use is a survey. We're going to send a survey out to the staff, asking them to rate the success of the trainings, the software, and get their feedback and input for the things we've implemented. Our target is to get a 90% overall very successful rating from the representatives. Our last goal is our budget. So we need to be within our budget for this to also be successful. Our yearly software budget is $10,000. The new software is going to cost us about $2,500 a year. Where we're at currently with our software budget, we're going to be hitting that $10,000 mark right at year end, so we should be good for that. Training budget is $6,276 a year. We'll need $61.24 out of that for this year, so we should be within our training budget at the year end, and we'll need $255 out of that training budget for next year, which we should be able to meet. The other thing that we have yet to determine is our labor costs. We're still working on that, and we're still looking into that. So that's something we're still researching. But as of now, we should be able to stay within our budget for this plan. And that's how you create better communications. So thank you for joining me, and I look forward to your feedback. Have a great day.